All right. Good morning, everybody. Monday morning, 21 April 2025. Where are you going today? What kind of work are you doing? You early morning truck driver? Yeah. Mason, picking up your guys, getting ready to go to work, loading the trucks, getting ready. Uh, Steel workers, rubbing your eyes, getting ready to roll. Or are you already rolling? Painters, electricians, we know you're still in bed. You won't see this. You you don't get up early enough to get out there. Nah, I'm just kidding. You guys are always. Hey, hey, I can make jokes. I was a safety guy, still a safety guy. You know, safety guys don't get dirty, don't do all that stuff. Anyway, good morning. This is what do we call this show? Just the Monday morning roundup, I guess. Um, get you guys motivated for your upcoming week of work. Monday morning, yeah, man, Monday morning, hard to get up and get rolling. Hope everybody had a wonderful Easter. Oh, excuse me. Coffee's giving me a little belching action this morning. It's springtime here where I live, finally. A lot of y'all had spring for darn near a month. I'm just now starting to get it way up here at 2,200 feet. I was on the deck yesterday and I could write my name in the pollen dust on the deck boards. Um, got some rain moving in this week. Probably going to. I'm in the southeastern region, about 120 miles from Atlanta, maybe 80 miles from Asheville. Maybe the same distance to Knoxville. I don't know. I'm up here in northeast Georgia. Beautiful weather. Tourist season's starting to kick up. I guess now we'll just have nothing but tourists and crowds. I don't blame y'all. Heck, getting out of the city heat down there in that big old heat sink, it's never comfortable. Got to keep producing, man. Got to keep producing. Keep that stuff rolling. Um, Somebody jumps on here, man. Give me a comment. Give me a shout out. If not, I'll just sit here and ramble on. Plenty to talk about for the springtime here. Um, Gardening, but we're trying to motivate you guys to get to work. Motivating. Make sure you have a good diet this morning. Make sure you get plenty of good food in you before you get rolling. Try to avoid the sugary stuff. Eat a piece of fruit. I don't even recommend cereal anymore. Um, I would just avoid all kind of sugary food. I guess a bacon and egg biscuit is better than a sweet bun, but a fruit and a protein. I tell you what, I'd rather see a guy eat a darned old Slim Jim and an apple for breakfast and a cup of coffee than some of the stuff they sell you guys in the store. Um, it's kind of, and y'all, I apologize if I'm buffering any. I'm on the satellite, and the only way I can get out around here. Don't get me started on the politics of internet in rural America. Uh, not a good subject I want to talk about, and I want to drag you down. I want to get you going. Hope everybody had a wonderful Easter. What a magnificent time in the, I'll call it the liturgical calendar, the Christian calendar. Uh, if you don't know what it is, look into it. And I don't want to get into religious speak here this early in the morning, but if you ever want to talk about the meaning of Easter, send me a message and we'll start a conversation. Early morning, still dark out. I can see all the trucks starting up, people rubbing their eyes, getting ready to roll at 5 o'clock. I don't know how many are rolling at 5 o'clock. The reason I do this thing at 5 o'clock in the morning is because I got a busy day on Mondays. And I just want to make some time to reach out to you guys out there who are keeping America rolling, making America great again, getting out there, making the things that we need to get by as Americans. Always building, always building. I think we need to spend a little more time on the roads. I was talking to son-in-law last night, a young man, and I don't know if there's any of you young guys out there, man. Think about a trade. Think about a trade. Uh, a lot of you guys are good at masonry and drywall that doesn't require any kind of licensure, and that's a good thing. That's a good skill set to have. But think about your long-term future. And you older guys who let time get by you, and heck, even if you're in your 50s, man, go ahead and get out there and get you a skill, a licensed skill, electrician, HVAC, plumbing, one of those skills. Get that under your belt. And that way you can walk in the door and you have a certificate showing that you have the knowledge to perform some task. Because I met an old boy the other day. He's a finish carpenter, puts base molding in, puts crown molding in, does molding around cabinetry, does molding in a house or in the construction. And that old boy's making big money, man. You guys out there and it doesn't require him a lot of tools to make that big money. All he's doing is cutting angles. Now he has to cut them right. They have to look good, but he's making good money, and that's something he enjoys doing. He's a cabinet maker by trade. But that finished carpentry, it gets him the money he needs to enjoy what he really wants to do, and that's cabinet making. So get out there and get after it, man. And the one thing that I've always noticed is so many people go out there and they get what they call a job and then do everything just to the minimum. You ought to be doing everything absolutely best you can. Make yourself skillful. Make yourself in demand. Get out there. Let's roll today. Walk into a job site with a smile. Man, be happy in your own heart, and everybody around you will be happy. And not everybody. No, there's going to be a knucklehead or two, but it's going to make your life a lot easier if you're happy. And thing about happiness. It is much harder to learn to lead a happy life than it is to lead an unhappy life. Unhappiness is easy. That's the easiest thing in the world, is to be unhappy. But it's miserable. I don't understand it. But it took me a long time to learn that. So exercise happiness. Find something to be grateful for every day. You people hear me say that all the time. Have a grateful day. And that's exactly what I mean. Be grateful in everything that you approach. Your ability to get up in the morning. Some people can't get up out of the bed. They're bedridden with illness and sickness, and it's physical, mental, emotional, all kinds of illnesses out there that, and a lot of them can be solved through um, your outlook in life. Um, so here we go, rolling down the road this morning. The traffic, sitting in the traffic, and I say all these things that I know can drag you down, but I want you to look at them as a, hey, if you're in traffic, you have the opportunity to pay a little more attention to me if you're tuned in. Um, and I do this on Monday mornings is because I want to I want to see people get motivated for the rest of the week. Um, if you can get picked up early in the week and carry that in, maybe it'll last you all week, maybe it won't. Um, but at least you get started with the right mindset. Get started with the right mindset, and that'll go a long way for you. Anyway, that's where we're at. Got rain. We covered that. Got some rain moving in this week. Keep the dust down for the demo guys. We talked about that. Demo guys love the rain. Everybody else don't. Concrete workers can't get nothing hardly done. It depends on how much rain, of course. If you're getting floods, nobody's working. Steel guys, that old steel gets slippery when wet. I've heard that before. That a rock and roll song? I don't remember. I don't know. Anyway, but the rain is good for keeping down the silica dust. And I did do a video over on the other channel this week. MCB Ventures on my other YouTube channel, Middleclassbubba. Talked about silica. Boy, that stuff is dangerous, guys. I know we breathe in dust all the time and we never give it any attention, but we need to start paying attention to the dust around us and what's in that crystalline silica dust. It's not biological, it's inert. Your body cannot break that down. Say something like other kinds of dust, and the dust they're concerned about is you can't even see. When you think about it, when you see guys breaking or cutting concrete, you see dust. You see that dust. Well, that dust is heavy. It's going to sink lower and it won't get caught in your lungs. But along with that visible dust cloud is that crystalline silica dust, and those particles are, I think it's 100 times smaller than the width of a human hair. It's invisible, and that stuff gets deep down into your lungs, and you got to think about that, what that silica dust looks like. I don't know if I've got any pictures or not. I wish I could show you, but this isn't really about that thing. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of the hazards of silica dust. But that crystalline silica, that's the invisible dust that's incorporated into that cloud of dust you see, is just tiny stuff, and it gets deep into your lungs, and it causes scarring. And it gets bad enough. There's a couple terms for it. It's crystalline. It's silicosis, and it's a scarring of the lungs. It's almost like that stuff gets in there, and it gets like concrete. Your lungs don't work as well. Over time, I may have some of that where it gets harder and harder to breathe. And if you're a smoker on top of that, man, you're just plowing toward health issues in the future. So be aware of it, and your employer has a certain amount of responsibility in that. If you're involved in a task that generates that kind of dust, your employer has to do a hazard assessment and provide you the appropriate either engineering or PPE administrative means to control that hazard. But if your employer, he's the owner or whatever, he's not in the field, he may not see the exposure, and your supervisor may be not worried about it because he ain't breathing it, and he may not, occupied with other things. So it's up to you as an individual to recognize that hazard of silica dust on the job site, and if and have someone and say, hey man, this stuff look, I think there's silica dust in there. I need some kind of protection. We need some kind of uh, engineering means or methods, engineered means and methods to control this stuff. So get with your supervisor and y'all talk about it. If you're not sure, you're more than free to send me a message and we'll get some information to you. OSHA has an entire standard on it. I think it's 1926 1153, I think, .113. You have to go check out the other channel. I can't remember all that stuff. I just know what the hazards are and where to do it. But there's a table 1 in there, and it'll discuss with you on how to what the common exposures are and how to protect yourself. And OSHA publishes that, and they've done a lot of research. And there's an association out there, I think it's called Concrete Cores and Sawers Association, but they have a whole reference on types of work that is done with concrete and what the hazards, the crystalline silica dust hazards associated with that particular task may be. So it's a good reference for you, and it's really not that hard. It's mostly just water. There are some situations where you have to have an integrated water supply, and it makes a difference whether you're working indoors or outdoors. But just be aware of it when you're out there, guys. All us construction workers, we're around it all the time. All we got to do is be aware of it. Let me see here. I'm doing some other stuff. Okay. Good morning. Everybody out there going at it? Everybody? Somebody cruising by? I did see some long-term or long-range weather reports. May have some pretty blustery weather coming through. And by blustery, I mean windy, with storm-like conditions coming through midweek, next few days. So y'all be aware of that, along with the rain. I'm sitting here writing notes and I don't even know how to spell crystalline. Anybody else out there don't know how to spell? I'm just making notes. I like to remember what I talked about in case somebody ever has questions on it or says I said this or I said that. And Lord knows I'm subject to say anything at any time, according to my wife and some of the guys I've worked with before. But I'm going to enjoy that part of my life where I just mumbo jumbo through, and maybe I can entertain somebody. But anyway, live streaming this morning, MCB Ventures. My main goal is to always protect guys and help them understand the hazards that they may face in their workaday life. And to get out here on Monday mornings, like I said, Monday mornings I get out here, I get up 4:30 every day, and I got a lot. I try and plan a full day. Gardening season's coming up, but that's another thing. We talk about health and saving money and all that stuff. It's an effort to grow a garden. You got to really enjoy that kind of thing. You got to enjoy gardening. um, it's a good hobby. You getting your hands in the dirt and you're out there and you're watching something grow, and then you reap the benefits of homegrown food. Um, I use very little fertilizer. I know people who have very nice fruit, very nice gardens, and they use a little more fertilizer than I do, but I try to keep it to a minimum. Yeah, yeah. If you just the benefits of gardening, of working in the earth, producing your own food is good for the body, mind, and spirit. And you got to have that in your life. And working. That's good too for your body, mind, and spirit, as long as you are wise about it. Uh, don't pull muscles, man. Guys out there, I see guys. Um, we were talking about the silica dust. I see guys my age walking around. They're always going, always clearing their throat, always got a little bit of cough, and you wonder, man, is it years of working in the dusty environments that made them this way? What exposures did they have when they were young men growing up, working in the field? And you want to protect them for their later years, with the enjoy their grandchildren and things like that. And another thing, son-in-law and I were talking about it last night, is I'm 60. How old am I? 63. 63. And I mentioned something about worrying about the knees and all that stuff, and he goes, "Well, you aching?" I said, "No, I just know some of the stuff I did as a younger man, like jumping off docks, jumping off equipment, jumping off the tailgate of a truck, doing it over and over and over again, and the impact that is measured on the joints when you do that kind of thing is thousands of pounds um, per square inch. I guess I could pull up something and look that up, but make that part of your routine today, is to look up and be aware. Mostly just be aware of the things that you put your body through, and is it the right thing. Proper lifting techniques. I'm, like I said, I'm in my early 60s, and I the old back ain't what it used to be, squatting down, bending over, picking something up off the floor. And I don't know if it's whether I don't exercise those muscles enough to maintain flexibility, which I work on, at least 3 days a week, uh, specifically, not just as part of a daily routine, but specifically doing stretching exercises. And in my younger days, even as a safety professional, I didn't put much stock in the old stretch and flex program that a lot of employers uh, require on their job sites. But as the years have gone by, I recognize how important those moments, that 5 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever it is, part of the PTP meeting, safety meeting, that they do those stretch and flexes. Those are pretty good importance. You're going ahead and you're loosening up the muscles you're going to be using through the day, and getting them ready to work, flushing them with the chemicals they need. Your body, your body's amazing. It produces chemistry in your body. Your body, when you start to work, your body will provide different things inside your bloodstream to help your muscles and all that work. And it's just, your body is an amazing piece of equipment, so to say. And if we treat it right and do things right by it, it will last us a long time. So just be aware of that kind of stuff. If a GC on your job site wants to have stretch and flex, do it with a smile on your face. Yeah. Interesting thing. One time we started that, it was just the GC would have his general meeting, then we would break out, and during our PTP meeting after the breakout, we would always do a little bit of stretch and flex. And then you'll see other contractors say, hey, yeah, it's probably a good idea. I think we're going to do it. And before you know it, the GC's on board. He said, hey, we're going to do stretch and flex before we do anything this morning. And it was quite interesting to watch that evolve. So that the whole job site was doing that kind of work. So when you when you start setting good examples with your team, there's other people watching, and they appreciate it. They may not say anything, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So I say go for it. Do a little stretch and flex, even if an individual, when you get there and you hop out of the truck, just if nobody else is doing it, take that 2 or 3 minutes and do those stretch and flexes, and do your body a favor. Work can be good for you. Like I said, body, mind, and spirit, same as gardening. Just take pride in everything that you do. All right, everybody rolling this morning. Anybody? I don't see anybody tuning in, but you know what? I'm getting practice on running my mouth and show off some pictures I made. I loaded these things on that TV, and I've been taking pictures for years and years, and some of them I ain't even looked at. And I went and started looking through them the other day, and I said, man, some of these are pretty cool. And so I decided to put them on that TV to give a little background. It's probably a little distracting. I probably need to just stick with the old skull up there so you can concentrate on me. But anyway, it may or may not change over time. I don't know. I'm just out here having a good time talking to you guys. Let's see, we talked about silica dust. We talked about stretch and flex. We talked about Easter. Man, I know all my Christian buddies, whether you're Catholic, Baptist, Methodist, Episcopalian, Presbyterian. There's so many flavors of Christians out there, and that's okay, So Easter is new birth, new life, eternal life. Anyway, not getting all religious on you. Y'all excuse me, I got something in my eyeball. Anyway, the reason I get up at 4:30 every morning is I go for a walk and exercise at least 3 days a week. Sometimes I fish, but I normally walk a mile or two 3 days a week just to get my mental and physical body pumped up. And I do notice that I am much more productive when I get up and exercise. It just something about that produces those chemicals, endorphins or whatever they're called, that jumpstart your body and get you motivated. And it carries me through till, later in the evening. And then, man, but after dinner time, I was talking to my wife the other night. I said, my body is amazing. At 9 o'clock, it just starts yawning and stretching and getting ready for bed. It's on its own schedule, and I trained it that way. And you can too. You can train your body to do certain things and make it good habits. We all got bad habits. I'm sitting here right now with a taste of tobacco and it's not a good habit, but it is a habit, and I know that I can change it. I just hadn't made up my mind, but I have done a lot of other changes in life, and like the exercising and the gardening and all, going to church. All those are habits, and they're good habits. They're good for you, spiritually, mentally, and physically. All that stuff adds up. Anyway, anybody been to Quick Trip yet this morning? What's the Quick Trip traffic look like? Everybody lined up at the coffee machine, at the perusing the sweet buns, getting them monster drinks up. Boy, I tell you what, I walked in one of them things the other day. I was traveling. Well, it's probably been a week or two ago. And I said, man, I'd like to have a cup of coffee. And I walked over there. And it was amazing to me the amount of stuff they have right there for you to add to your coffee. I'm like cream and sweetener. I kind of cut off the sugar. You get up there in age, boy, you load up on. That's another thing about eating all them sweet buns. You do it over years and years, your body starts going, nah, I don't really like that. It's not any good for me. And your body will stop processing it properly. Something to do with the blood sugar and some kind of system that your body just quits processing. It holds too much sugar in the bloodstream. And that's rough on kidneys. It's rough on a lot of different things, a lot of different internal organs when they're flooded with so much sugar in the blood. I call it high blood glucose or pre-diabetes or diabetes. And it's all based on the food, man. It's the stuff they put in the food to make it taste good enough for you to want to eat it. It's like they make it addictive. Sugar and fat and salt and fat. I don't think fat and salt is as bad as fat and processed sugars. The processed food, the flour and the sugar, all that stuff converts straight into sugar. Bread and tortillas, man, I love a good tortilla with my dinner, and you look at it and it is loaded up with that stuff, so you got to be careful with it. I've guys on job site, their feet are always hurt and they're having trouble with their sugar, and they haven't made the connection between, in their mind, they haven't made the connection between the food they're eating and the way their body's responding. It's tough, man. Now, if that sweet stuff's laying around, every time I walk by it, I'm looking at it and I'm liking craving it. But over time, the cravings have shrunk, so it's easier to walk by it now. Like I don't know, Little Debbie and a cold glass of milk. My wife made a thing she calls a trash pie. Man, that thing's got coconut and chocolate and sugar and a pie. And she'll say, "You want a piece of pie?" And but she made that. Now I will participate because she cared enough or was generous enough to spend time to make that. So I will have a piece, but I try to avoid it. I keep, for me and the grandson, blueberries and strawberries. And it's amazing to me how sweet a blueberry or a strawberry is when you haven't had sugar in a while. Quit eating sugar and bread for a week or so, and then an apple, a blueberry, a strawberry, some kind of fruit, even a tomato. It's amazingly sweet. And we drown those special sweetnesses out by overloading our senses with that artificial stuff, that processed sugar and all that stuff. So give it a try. It might make you feel better, might taste better, and make you healthier all around, and be a good example for your children and grandchildren too. Anyway, everybody rolling this morning? What kind of jobs we got? What kind of projects? I was in Atlanta last week, I think, and I was rolling through there, and I didn't see but one crane in the air in the central downtown area. And I know that has changed significantly in the past, I don't know. It started back in 16, 17, 18. You could see the cranes, the project pace is kicking up, the number of projects that are getting started and the money being spent. And then in 20 and 21, 22, there was a lot of cranes in the air, and they stayed up in there. I guess they're finishing those projects up now and bringing down the cranes. So not sure what all that means, but when there's cranes in the air, there's guys out there working. And there's always plenty plenty of plenty of work. Remodeling, commercial remodel, that's quite a task. You got a multi-story building, and they're doing a upfit on it, and first thing that comes in, a bunch of demolition guys and taking down sheetrock, and man, up and down those elevators, those son of a guns. Could you imagine stripping out a 20 or 30, forget 50, 60 story, 100-story building, but just a building that size? When the amount of material that you have to come out when you do demolition, you're talking about carpet, ceiling tile and grid, sheetrock, metal studs, taking it all the way back to the bare structure. All that's going up and down on the elevator, just bucket after bucket after bucket of trash going up and down an elevator, and the number of roll-off dumpsters parked at the docks, it can be amazing. Sometimes I wear out an elevator, got to replace the elevator, or do work on the elevators. Elevators always break too when they're under that kind of load. It's pretty amazing. And then after you get it all stripped out and swept down and cleaned up, then you got the new guys coming in, new plumbing where needed, checking all the systems, the chilling towers for HVAC, all those systems. And then especially during demo, man, that stuff picks up a lot of dust. They got to get all that cleaned up. They normally seal off. You really can't eliminate all the air unless you open some windows in the demolition process. But man, that's quite a task. And then after everything's been bare walled, then you got the trades coming in, the electricians, they need it rewired for computer center, data center, and then all the data lines. And this is for, some company might buy 10 floor or rent 10 floors, and they got to have their own computer. They have their own needs, their own needs and cubicle configurations and all that stuff. So it's quite detailed on the work that goes in to a remodel, whether it's your home residential or a commercial refit. But there's a lot of work out there, boys, and it's you got to compete for it. If you've got a good organized team, you'll be successful. Sometimes, well, money's an issue, but sometimes when it's close, the deciding factor is your history, your reputation. And we work on our reputations every single day. From the minute we show up on the job to the minute we dusting the old hands off, getting out of there, we're building our reputations every day, and I hope you build your personal reputation as well as building the reputation for the company that you work for. So that's the kind of stuff that if anybody, I don't see anybody looking at me right now, so I'm just sitting here rambling away. But if you stop by, be sure and tell me hello. I'm going to take them old pictures down. Y'all, I hope I don't lose y'all, but we're going to give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Display settings, and then I'm going to connect, and then I'm going to connect that. Let's see what happens. What y'all think? Is it happening? It says there it goes. All right. There we go. Uh-oh. Couldn't connect. Let's try it again. Did it work that time? Nope. Oh well. We tried. Let's close it. Oh, there it is. All right. There's the old background. Let me see if I can come up with something to put on there. I'm going to put the old skull back up there just because I like it. What in the world? Let's go to artwork. Here she comes, boys and girls. Here it comes. Rolling across. There it is. Let me get it maxed out. There we go. What y'all think? What y'all think? That is kind of the official logo. It is what it is. There you go. Now we going. Got the old logo on there. This old stream lag kind of goosed me up. What I'm doing is I'm looking at OBS. I'm trying to get where I can show you different stuff. Like if I need to go run. That's what I play when I got to run off. I got to be right back. Got a little music in the background of some pictures I took. And then I got this other one. But my phone is locked. Let's go back to here. All right. I got this one. This is my office. Down in the, literally the man cave. So I'm looking at several different things here. Try improve the quality of the stream, you know, just work on things for this and doing my safety videos and other things. So me trying to improve and be the best I can be, just like you should be improving, being the best you can be. And is it all going to happen overnight? No. It takes time. You just gotta stay with it, and it'll work for you. You'll always improve. As long as you're doing it, you will improve. As long as you make a constant effort, a continuous effort in your mind and how you use your mind, it'll improve. You will improve in all things, and that's what we need to be as humans. Old Ted Turner, man, he used to do Slits beer commercials. I don't know, Ted Turner, he used to be he's the one who created cable news network, man, big money. He was a yachtsman, you know, he did the America's Cup and all that, racing yachts and all that stuff, but he did a beer commercial for Slits beer. Y'all look it up. And the tagline on that ad was, "It's gone away." What happened? Come on, Elon. Sorry about that, guy. I'm getting some glitching. You know, like I said before, the only way I get out is over the internet is through Starlink. And I love it. Don't get me wrong, Elon. If you hear your name mentioned, you hear Starlink mentioned, and you want to look to see if anybody's giving you negative press, I ain't giving you negative press, man. You're a lifesaver. With your Starlink, you have provided a resource that so many people needed. And some of these larger companies out there that own vast majority of the internet providing their provider services. All right. Thank you, Elon. Thank you, Starlink. And if I get glitched out every now and then, I ain't no big deal compared to what I had in the past. Thank you, Elon. Thank you, Starlink. So if y'all see a little glitching in this thing, that's exactly what's going on. Trying to work in a super, I think it's a pretty rural area and trying to get out. And other companies say, hey man, we'll come in there and you can get, they say all these TV things along with your internet package and then give you 3 megabytes download or some crazy stuff, just barely enough to make you want to get their TV service. But if you try anything else, buddy, and then you call, man, what's wrong with y'all service? Well, you gotta reset your same thing every time, and they're just bullshitting you, man. They ain't gonna give you no more. So, once again, thank you, Elon. Anyway, we're pushing on here. One of these days I'm going to be amazed when I see somebody on there. I'll probably freeze. Somebody's on. Somebody's watching. I just wish somebody would watch and make a comment, give me something to talk about instead of trying to come up with something on my own. Hell, I ain't the brightest guy in the place, but I need something to motivate me too. A couple comments would sure be food for thought. I'd even like to be able to set up where we can have conversation, bring a guest in. I've already tried to work on it. We're here. Where? See, I've already got it set up where a guest, or I could show something here to, I don't know what's going on with that. Show something here like I don't know, a window capture or something. I don't know, something to, I'm working on it. And, if I get, when I get good enough, everybody wants to stop by on Monday mornings and say hello and tell me what they got going, then, excuse me, I'm still on my first cup of coffee. It ain't an energy drink with big M's on it and scary stuff and Red Bull. Boy, that Red Bull has made some money on y'all sucking that stuff down. Got guys jumping out of balloons way up in space and setting all kinds of records and new kinds of flying machines where they jump off a ramp into the water and see how far they can go. Airplane races. Guys landing on helipads with an airplane. God almighty. Thanks for drinking Red Bull. I don't even know what brand of coffee that is. Probably the cheapest in the store. Yeah, I know. There, you can get special kinds of coffee from different parts of the world, and you gotta roast it correctly, and blah 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 blah. I guess I'm old school. Cup of Joe is a cup of Joe. You put a little sugar in it, put a little creamer in it. Sometimes I put a little cocoa in it, just a touch to give it a little extra oomph. And I like it. It's probably 10 cents a cup, 25 cents a cup. But that'll last me most of the day. I drink about 6 cups of coffee all day long. And I normally have one in this cup here, and then another insulated cup my daughter gave me, one of my daughters. And this one's full, and I won't start on it till later on. It'll last me a lot of time. A lot of times I don't even finish it. Just pour it out at the end of the day or the next morning. Just. And rest of the day, it's all water. I see. Is there a water bottle behind me somewhere? Yeah, you can see the water bottle right there. There's a water bottle. I don't even buy it. That was some sparkling water or carbonated water. And that's nice every now and then, but normally I just refill it out of the well house. I'm on the well. So I'm drinking well. I ain't ever had it tested. I've been drinking it for this place 8 or 10 years. It comes from uphill. I doubt there's any kind of industry that could have dumped in any kind of nastiness in it that would be in that water supply. I guess I need to check it. Anyway, trying to get you guys motivated. All you guys out there, man. Getting up, getting kids ready. Well, you getting up, getting out of there while everybody else is still in bed. Everybody's still asleep upstairs. They're still snoozing away. Hell, I'll be gone and go done my exercise, and a lot of times I'm back before they moving around even. So I dig it. All right. Got just a few more minutes here. Somebody will pop in. I got 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Oh, 10 minutes of being with y'all. And then it'll be next week. Sorry about that. Conserving tobacco. I normally go through a can of Copenhagen a couple days. I try and take it easy on it. For a while there, man, I was going through a can a day. I was eating that stuff like candy. I need to give it up. It's getting too expensive. Put that tobacco money into fishing bait or something. I don't know. What is that stuff? $5 a can now? Almost $6 a can. 15 times 6, that's 15 times 6. That's 15 times 6. Well, 10 times 6 is 60. That's $90 a month. $90, that's over $1,000 a year. $1,000 a year. $90, that's half a week's of groceries. I don't know, man. I pay my car insurance. What do y'all do with y'all's money? You ever think about that? You're out there working. What are you working for? You working to get your tobacco and your Red Bull and your Quick Trip coffee and your honey buns and your taquitos or whatever they call those roller things, Is that what you're working for? Are you always working and never have enough? Do you have enough, or are you just spending your money the wrong way? That's always a question you got to ask yourself. What are you working for? Are you working just because that's what you learned to do from your parents watching them? What are you working for? What can you change if you wanted to improve your life? What could you do? Let me turn this thing. Yeah, I don't know. That's all right. Change what the camera's looking at. Anyway, y'all ought to try this too. If you got something to say, man, you got want to just get out there and make a fool of yourself. That's why I do it early in the morning. And give up $90 a month on this tobacco. I wonder what else I could do as far as live streaming. Could I buy some more lights? $90 a month, $1,000 a year. Probably buy a pretty good camera. Or if I told my wife I was giving up that tobacco so I could buy this new camera. A new camera. I wonder if she'd go for that. Anyway, guys, it's early in the morning. And I ain't even stretched out yet. Well, I'm fixing to get stretched. Got to take off the trash, go for a walk, go to the post office, go to the darn grocery store. I got to do that. They hate going to the grocery store. My wife won't do it either. Or to turn that into a battle royale. So I ain't going to no darn store. You go to the store. I don't want to. I don't want to either. See where that goes. Y'all want me to do that? If y'all watch this, nobody's watching, so I ain't got nobody to comment. Anyway, we got about 5 more minutes with y'all, and then got to wrap her up. I enjoy getting up here early in the morning. I wish somebody else would tune in, but that's I just keep, I started this for a while, and then I made a commitment to a buddy of mine to go help out on a job, and I had to back off for a while and finish that up. And I said, man, I need to get back to it. Hopefully I can make this a regular occurrence. But if somebody calls me and needs me to get out there and help them on a job or help with some leadership role, then if that commitment required it, I don't know. I want to do this, but I also want to be able to be helpful to guys out there trying to make things happen still. So we'll see. Just know you got me for today, right now, this minute. And if you're watching this later on and you flip through and you see it, then send me a comment and know that every Monday morning, unless things change, I plan on being here from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Probably too early, but that's all right. At least I'm learning a skill set, and I'm getting out here exposing myself for people to laugh at or to agree with, to disagree with, and all that good stuff to get the old mental juices flowing early on a Monday morning. Get you ready to go for the rest of the week. Power through the rest of the week. Monday morning, where you could come in and say whatever, do whatever, and then give you the energy to pump through, give you something to talk about with your buddies. And I've done a lot of things, fellas. If you got some challenges, maybe myself or people who will be watching this eventually, they'll offer some guidance on how they've had to handle similar situations and help give you strength to handle that which you're facing. Anyway, you got my email address there, and I prefer you send me a text over the old YouTube thing, to send me a comment and get things going that way. Because when you see this and you make a comment or you give it a thumbs up, or it tells the algorithm, hey, somebody's watching this guy, and it increases the people that it shows the thumbnail to when they're flipping through. So if you're in the construction business, or you're a safety professional, or you're in the construction trades, and you're looking at something on YouTube that has to do with construction safety or something like that, and you're flipping through, then that helps me come closer to the top and reach more people, and hopefully that'll benefit a lot of people. That's what I'd like to be. I want to be a benefit. I like to be entertainment, but I want you to be able to take something away from our interaction in the mornings, on Monday mornings. All right, well, I've been yakking for an hour. I ain't said a whole lot. Please feel free to give me a comment and thumbs up. That's the thing. If there's a thumbs, I don't know on these live streams if they give a thumbs up. I guess I could do shorts or something, but right now I'm trying to generate ideas and content and increase my skill of talking to myself. hey, hey, I'm on the porch one time and the old wife walks out there and I'm trying to figure something out and I'm talking out loud. She goes, "You always talk to yourself?" I said, "Yeah, I'm the only one who understands what I'm trying to say." But anyway, that looks like that's going to be it for today, boys and girls. I really, really hope you have a grateful day. Get out there and make your life something special. And until next time, I'll say it again. Have a grateful day. And we'll see you next Monday morning at 5 o'clock. Get up. See me then. See you later.